Possible? Okay. So, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, friends, it's really a pleasure to have you today here for the beginning, for the opening of this, let's say, experiment, the first international conference of artificial intelligence in structural engineering. At the early beginning, I would like to introduce the Rector of Technical University of Torino, Professor Stefano Corgnati, for his introduction.
Distinguished guests, dear colleagues, thanks for being here. Welcome at Politecnico di Torino. Welcome Valentino Castle. Il Castello del Valentino was the very first headquarter of Politecnico di Torino. And I'm really happy to host here this important conference because we are in the very heart of interdisciplinary approach. I think that the relevant key issue of this event, of this conference, is to put together the so important sector of civil and structural engineering with the new possibility, potentiality, and also limitation of an incredible tool like artificial intelligence. So thanks a lot to the organizing committee, because I think that we are opening a new era with this conference. I think that the solid basis that we have, and we try day by day to transfer to our students in civil and structural engineering, has to also understand the potentiality of new tools that can really change also the way through which you can design and you can also solve complex problems. So I understood that this is the very first conference putting together these two aspects. So I'm really proud to start with this new trajectory here at Politecnico di Torino. I wish you a fruitful meeting, fruitful discussion, and always consider Politecnico di Torino as your family. So please, you are very welcome, not only during this event, but also as visiting professors, because we would really like to create a community, a scientific community, open and inclusive. So thanks a lot and enjoy your conference.
Thank you very much, Stefano. Thank you. Now I am going to present a delegate of the European Parliament, Honorable Michele Picaro. If you would like to speak here, maybe better.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the invite. It's a pleasure to be here. Now I'll speak slowly in Italian, so it's possible to translate. Porto con enorme piacere i saluti del Parlamento europeo alla prima conferenza mondiale sull'intelligenza artificiale nella ingegneria strutturale. Non siamo qui per celebrare soltanto il progresso tecnologico, ma per riflettere insieme su come l'intelligenza artificiale cambierà le nostre città, le nostre economie, le società del futuro. Questa conferenza non è solo occasione di confronto scientifico, ma è anche un momento culturale e politico in cui si incontrano ricerca, innovazione, visione per il futuro delle nostre comunità. Un ringraziamento particolare al Politecnico di Torino, da sempre punto di riferimento internazionale per la scienza e tecnologia, che con questa iniziativa conferma il suo ruolo di guida e dà a Torino e all'Europa un posto centrale nel dibattito globale sull'intelligenza artificiale. E nello specifico è per tutti, perché le idee si muovono sulle gambe degli uomini. Al responsabile del progetto, il professor Beppe Marano. Vorrei sottolineare un aspetto: l'intelligenza artificiale non riguarda solo il mondo della ricerca o dell'industria, è un fattore geopolitico. Chi saprà svilupparla e soprattutto governarla avrà un vantaggio strategico in termini di sicurezza, crescita economica, influenza internazionale. È una trasformazione paragonabile a quelle che hanno segnato epoche storiche come l'energia nucleare, la conquista dello spazio o Internet. L'Europa deve avere la responsabilità di guidare questa rivoluzione con l'AI Act, entrato in vigore nel 2024, l'Unione Europea ha tracciato la prima cornice normativa globale, distinguendo i sistemi di rischio inaccettabili, e quindi quelli che sono vietati, da quelli ad alto rischio, che sono sottoposti a regole severe di trasparenza, qualità dei dati e supervisione umana. Sono state pubblicate anche delle linee guida sull'uso corretto dell'intelligenza artificiale e sono in arrivo codici di condotta e progetti come l'AI Continent che rafforzeranno le infrastrutture europee. Ma sappiamo anche che l'intelligenza artificiale porta con sé dei rischi seri, dalla manipolazione cognitiva alla sorveglianza di massa, dalle discriminazioni algoritmiche agli attacchi informatici, fino ad errori in settori sensibili, alla concentrazione dei poteri in mano di pochi e dall'uso militare delle tecnologie. Ma il tema che affrontiamo oggi dimostra invece le opportunità straordinarie dell'intelligenza artificiale applicata all'ingegneria strutturale. Può rendere più sicuri gli edifici, le infrastrutture, ridurre tempi e costi, migliorare l'uso delle risorse e rafforzare la resilienza delle nostre città, migliorando concretamente la vita dei cittadini, che è quello a cui tutti noi auspichiamo. Accanto a queste opportunità dobbiamo assumere la responsabilità di garantire che la conoscenza resti accessibile e che l'innovazione non diventi motivo di nuove disuguaglianze. Con questo spirito auguro a tutti voi un buon lavoro, certo che questa conferenza sia utile per arricchirci di idee e contributi utili per il futuro delle nostre comunità e per il ruolo che l'Europa deve svolgere nel guidare questa importantissima rivoluzione. Grazie.
Thank you very much to Michele Picaro, and now I am going to give the speech to the director of our department, the Department of Structural, Geotechnical and Building Engineering, that is organizing with me this conference, Professor Sebastiano Foti.
Thank you very much, Beppe, and first of all, welcome to our guests and dear colleagues. I'm very proud that our department is organizing this very first conference on this topic, and I wish to thank all my colleagues that worked so hard to make this possible here at the Castello di Valentino. As our rector mentioned before, the Castello del Valentino, after being obviously one of the places of that was where the Savoia dynasty that basically unified Italy at its headquarters, then was given to Politecnico di Torino because I mean, we needed some spaces after World War II, where the initial place of the Politecnico di Torino was destroyed during the war. And it is, I would like to mention that just below this room, in the Sala delle Colonne, the room that I suppose you are going to use for coffee breaks and lunch, that is just below this room, there was the very first laboratory of structural engineering of Politecnico di Torino. So I think that this is, I wouldn't say a coincidence, I would say that is a link between the past of structural engineering and the future of present and future of structural engineering. And for me, this is also the occasion to remark the importance, the continuing importance of the experimental experiments and experimental mechanics, because then our new tools that we are developing with artificial intelligence and with modern techniques always have to rely on reliable and good quality data. So because of this, I think that the link between this place where we today are talking artificial intelligence applied to structural engineering and the place just below where our experimental studies started is a good starting point for this conference. As the Rector mentioned, we are also proud that this is the first occasion in which this conference has been organized, and I wish to all of you and to the organizers of this conference to start a new series, as we need a new series to discuss about the opportunities and also the pitfalls and the difficulties that we can find in running this road in using artificial intelligence for structural design and for maintenance of infrastructure and so on. Specifically, this is an important occasion for our young colleagues. We strongly believe that the young colleagues are the ones that are going to pave the way for the future. So I wish all of them a fruitful conference, and to all of you a very fruitful discussion and conference during this day. So thank you very much.
Grazie mille, Sebastiano. Okay, and now we can go deep on the opening ceremony. I have to be quite honest with you. If all of us are here today, is because an experiment. So I tried, I think, to organize this conference since I have been here in Turin, Technical University of Turin, about 7 years ago. And then my good friend, Professor Asprone, told me, why not, in a sort of British Napolitan way. Okay, about 1 year ago. So I say, yes, it is a good idea. Okay, the first question we can simply tell at the early beginning, do you really need another conference on artificial intelligence? Well, as I was speaking, but all of you that are more expert than me in this field knows, artificial intelligence or machine learning is now a fashion field. Okay, everything could be artificial intelligence based, and it sounds much better from commercial point of view, scientific point of view. Everything has to be sounds as artificial intelligence. But do we need really to be here for this first international conference of artificial intelligence in structural engineering? Is it necessary? Could be the first step to do something that could be more stable with a long vision of what we have to do? Well, some basic considerations. We are speaking about the sector of the construction, architecture, engineering and construction industry is about the 10% of GDP worldwide. Typically in Italy it is 10% and it is always the same, okay, with some points of differences. So it is quite fundamental in each modern country. And it is also responsible for a deep the deep effect on the environmental impact. Okay, so it is essential for our, let's say, survive as country. Okay, but there are two main differences that I would like to stress here. I have no way to say some details, but the concept is fundamental at this stage. Structural engineering and artificial intelligence are two totally different based technical areas. The structural engineering is based on formulation, analytical formulation. Those are in our DNA from the first day at the bachelor school. We have the habit to say that everything could be described by formulas, equations, okay? On the other way, artificial intelligence is based on data, no formulas, only data, statistical interpretation of data, but data, okay? Well, structural engineering is an equation-driven discipline. Okay, everything can be described by a formulation, analytical formulation, and the flow chart to understand how to do it is very, very defined. So we start from a physical reality analysis. We make some hypothetical assumption and idealization. Then we write down the fundamental principles, transform in a mathematical formulation. Then we have a closed formula, closed instrument to approach the engineering application. And it is, on the other hand, maybe the oldest field of modern mathematical physics applied. So structural engineering started in the 17th century, okay, a long time ago, starting from Galileo Galilei, then Robert Hooke, Isaac Newton, and still now we are using their equation. So the Hooke modules is a basic for all of us, okay, it is a so deep significant in our mind that it is a sort of religious, let me say, okay? And as it is so old, so well defined, okay? There is a point that if we have an habit to something, we do not are able to accept changing, any kind of changing, okay? So the oldest you are, less elastic are you, speaking in a structural engineering terms, okay? And so it is quite difficult to say to someone, well, you can change your approach, you do not use the Bernoulli equation. You have to use to solve this problem a sort of neural network or something else, okay? But even if we have the basics from centuries well defined in our minds, more than in our books, textbooks, have we solved any kind of problems in structural engineering? Well, the truth is not. It's not. Even if it is a matter field, now I just reported here three main concepts. So the complexity. The classical methods are not able or have some difficulties, let's say, with very complex systems, okay, where you can lose the touch of what you are doing, okay. The inverse problem that we have with structural health monitoring, that is a key problem for infrastructures in all countries. And the possibility to use the generative AI, so-called generative AI, to make better design, to make structures cheaper, safer, and environmental more acceptable, okay? So those are still open questions, okay, that we have no way to approach, also because we do everything with the classical mathematics, okay? We can do something of incremental, but very few. And we can say, okay, artificial intelligence could be the solution, okay, as it is fashion, as I told you, okay. But I can do, at the early beginning, I was speaking with some colleagues, some friends last days. The main question is, well, this is artificial intelligence, but maybe can we define intelligence before artificial? What is intelligence, okay? Well, I give, on the left side, you can see what produced for me ChatGPT. Okay, that is reasonable, okay, I just put it. And below you say what I personally think in a sort of a medium engineering, discover the hidden order, Hamid chaos. So seem to be a chaos, we can recognize a sort of order, okay? And translate it in a, let's say, formula, in a model, okay? And now, artificial intelligence is breaking our community, our society in many, many fields, starting from the availability of data. Okay, so now we have tons of data, an incredible amount of data, absolutely incredible if compared with those on which we had access, let's say, 30 years ago. 40 years ago. So it's an incredible amount of data because the technology, okay, the technology is more mature, is easier to be used. So the first step is we have a lot of data. Then we can build some technologies, or we can reuse some technologies in a new way. So the deep learning, machine learning, that are a subset of artificial intelligence. I don't want to waste your time in describing it. But, well, this is we can speak about a system able to imitate human cognitive process, okay? To perceive, reason, decide, create in principle, okay? And it is transversal. It can deal with all human activities. And one key point I would like to stress with you. This is one of the greatest revolutions in human history. The revolution in human history are some jump in the knowledge, so it's not an incremental progress of some technologies. It's the presentation of a new technologies at all. And you can see that, well, the artificial intelligence is breaking in last few years, okay? But its importance, maybe according to many people, could be comparable with the greatest technological revolution that has been in humanity, about in the 20,000 years ago in the Neolithic period, with the agricultural revolution, okay? The key point on which on what we have to discuss in case is that at that age, the agricultural revolution makes a totally cut of the humanity, not between those that use and not use, between the population that are using the agriculture, and the other ones simply was cleaned by the history. Because the advantage in using such a technology was so powerful that there was no way to the others to survive. Maybe we are in the same field. So the point is not on would we use or not the artificial intelligence, but in the future will be who is using will survive, who will not use will lose so much power in front of the others to be simply without a perspective, okay? And so we have to manage the importance of this step, as has been stressed by my colleagues a few seconds ago, is very, very important. Is strategic for our future, for our society. The conceptual difference on which we can discuss also about the opportunity to use and what are the limitations in using artificial intelligence in structural engineering is that, well, the formulation, this is a sort of Pareto front, okay, let me say. On the upper side, we have the white box, so the classical formulation, the formula that describes what is the stress acting a force on a section or something like that, okay? It is our knowledge, okay? On the left side, we have the black box, so let's say neural network, for instance, or any other kind of technological methods that is able to describe a phenomenon without knowing the equation, but just by data. So in a sort of statistical, analytical way, based on data. The difficulty, the problem in this case of using a black box technology is that, well, structural engineering needs of some indications, some rules, compliance, regulation, guidelines, and never forget that the importance of the structures in human history is basically, maybe we are not fashion at the moment compared with management engineering, aerospace engineering, biomedical engineering, or informatics engineering. But remember that every society are based on the housing and on the infrastructures. And this is absolutely well known since the first code of humanity, the Code of Hammurabi in Babylon, about 2000 before Christ, clearly listed in a list of about 200 rules, at about 25, the number 25, that there are specific responsibility for the constructors, okay? Structural engineering has the own responsibility for what they design. And in this case, the question is, well, if I use a black box, who is responsible for what I design? In case of failure, who is the responsible? The designer, the code programmer, the ChatGPT? Who is? This is a big question from ethical and legal point of view. And at the other hand, the rigidity of regulation, compliance, guidelines are not thinked for artificial intelligence-based methods, okay? But at the same time, we have the perspective that I think could be done in next year to match together the human creativity and the intellectual capacity of analyzing data, okay? So this could be seen as the vision of AI in structural engineering. And now, let's go to the reply of the question I gave you at the early beginning. Would we use artificial intelligence in structural engineering? Yes, we have. It is a so powerful instrument. But, well, if you don't know where are you going, every road will get nowhere. So we have to, but we have to do it, to use artificial intelligence with a good perspective. We don't know where we are going, but we can look clearly what is the road and what is our main objective to solve. And so identify what is the right direction for AI in structural engineering. How do we harness its power, responsibility, and innovatively? To answer those fundamental questions, we have to come together here in ARTISTE 2025. So, this is the question. Do you really need another conference of artificial intelligence? Yes, this is my personal idea, because there is something we aim to achieve here. And, well, after this sort of technical presentation, I would like also to tell you why we are here. When I arrived here in Politecnico di Torino, I established a research group, ARTISTE research group, that is this one in the Department of Structural, Geotechnical and Building Engineering, okay? And this is the people that supported me both in getting up the group of research, and you have seen also in making possible this conference. And so I would like to thank all of them. Without names, just the fact you will see all of them. At the same time, I would like also to thank the other three co-chairs, so Professor Asprone, Professor Xinzheng Lu, that is going to give his first keynote, and Professor Nikos Lagaros, that is, unfortunately, is very, very sorry, but he can be with us together. I would like also to thank, of course, our sponsors that make, the technical sponsors that make possible this conference with their support. All of them give you some materials about the specific area, field of interest. We have also the patronages, okay, so the different community, technical community that support us. And this is the organizing committee. I would like to thank all of them because of their time, their work. We have a WeChat community that has never stopped for more than 50 minutes, also at night, since a couple of months. So I would like really to thank all of them. And also to the keynote speaker, I thank all of them, Professor Adeli, Professor Umbertini, Professor Yongxia, Professor Xinzheng Lu, Professor Eleni Chazzi, Josephine Carstensen, Professor Henry Barton, and Sigrid Ariansen, Billy Spence, Jose Matos, Konstantinos Stavridis, Stegio Mitoulis, and Mark Sarkisian. And also, I would like also to thank the invited speaker. Both with them, the level of the conference is absolutely excellent. Thank to them, okay, of course. We have also got about 15 special sessions that demonstrate the interest in different fields to apply the artificial intelligence. So there is let's say, hot community in this field. All the special sessions deal with a specific theme. All of them are extremely interesting. And even if this is the first conference, so it is an experiment, let's say, we have almost something less than 200 participants, and they are from all around the world, let's say, okay, and thinking that it is the first conference and it has been organized in less than 1 year, I think that is a good results, okay? Now we can speak about the organization of the conference itself. Now we are on Monday, we are in the opening ceremony. We'll start after the ceremony the first keynote. Professor Xinzheng Lu, then Professor Eleni Chazzi and Bill Spence, okay? And then started the parallel sessions. Then we have also almost the same organization in Tuesday and Thursday, okay? On Tuesday, 16, at 9 o'clock, we have the gala dinner. Who is interested in participate, we have still possibility to host people. It is a very, very nice restaurant on the border of the Po River. And here there is the king. Who wish to attend, please go to the secretary. They will tell you how to do it. And we are maybe too much respect to my optimistic previsions, so we are strictly in time. We have no enough time. So please, I ask you to be extremely in time for every kind of presentation. We scheduled them in 20 minutes plus free of question and answer, okay? This is I am speaking to all of you, all the presenters, as well as to the chair and co-chair. Be rigid on this, otherwise we will have some problem. I also to thank North Park, that is one of our sponsors, that is giving for free for 30 days artificial intelligence product that is able to produce applications, okay? So it is for free for 30 days. It can produce free kind of automatic application, apps, agents, okay? And he will present how to use it and also present an app for structural engineering as a preliminary application. We are in the field of, we are in the changing, so it is extremely interesting to see what is doing the industry to use artificial intelligence in practical way. And engineering, Daniel Bichara will present this digital gadget that all of you has in your badge, okay? And well, the conference venue, we are here in the fantastic Valentino Castle, and we are in the main room in the Salone d'Onore here, you can see. The other, the parallel session, we have 4 parallel sessions when we have parallel session, and they are in the different rooms that are on the left or on the right, respect to the main, to the Salone d'Onore where we are. I would like also to remember you that we have awards. We decided to have awards. The first one is the John Henry Holland Prize. That is the founder of the genetic algorithms, okay? Everybody like me works on this field, knows his name, okay? And this is a prize for the best paper of the conference. So everybody is interested, please submit the paper by the end of October to be considered for the award. At the same time, we have the award, the prize committee is done by the four chairs, so me, Professor Asprone, Xinzheng Lu, and Nikos Lagaros, and our colleague, one of the most experts in the world in artificial intelligence, is Professoressa Barbara Caputo. And we have also, for each session, the prize for the outstanding paper presentation. Each chair has to evaluate all the presentation and will select the best one according to some criteria. We gave you a list, a piece of paper with all this information. The criteria is based on the scientific vision, depth of knowledge and engagement with the topic, clarity, scientific rigor, and so on, professionalism, adherence to the allotted presentation time, and the ability to respond to the audience questions. The adherence to the attended presentation time is a key point. As I told you, we are not in a hurry, but we are very, very close. And I would like also to end these openings with another interesting aspect. We have organized also a summer school in machine learning in civil engineering. We organize it with the other colleagues that you can look here. And we have had about 130 people attending to this conference, to the summer school, in presence, more than 18 or 19 remotely. This demonstrates that even if structural engineering or civil engineering in general has some problems with new students, to attract new students, the good mixing and the right organization of such events can stress the attention, can increase the attention from the students in this field. And so I think that it is very, very interesting, a good results. And now I can say thank you for your attention. We can open the first international conference on artificial intelligence. And thank you very much for your time. I will give now the... I would like to give to my friend more than...
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take 2 more minutes before we start with the technical session. Also for me, it's a pleasure to welcome all of you to this conference. I must give a warm thank you to Giuseppe Marano for the extraordinary work he did in organizing this conference with his team. I see here Raffaele and Amedeo. A very, very good job, and the number of all of us is the measure of the success they achieve with the organization of this conference, and the map of the distribution of all of us is really impressive. So thank you for organizing this conference. Very, very quickly, a personal note: when we started discussing about this conference, we discussed whether hosting it in Turin, where he's based, or in Naples, where I'm based from southern Italy. Naples is a wonderful city, close to the sea. You would have enjoyed it. It's a charming city, but for my health, the best option was choosing Turin. You spent a lot of words to clarify the topic of our conference. I want to share with you also only my opinion. The unique vision we have given to this conference with the contribution of all of you is that it has been arranged not by AI specialists looking at structures, but by structural engineers that are passionate about AI-driven innovations, but are aware of the challenge of our fields. So in a sense, as we have said before, we are structural natives, not digital natives. We are structural natives, but we are passionate about AI. So after a week that we worked on the organization of this conference, we realized that we are aggregating a community with a very clear shared topic interest, and that's why we want to announce a further step. We want to launch an international scientific association, AI for Structures, whose objective is to give continuity to the work we are doing here, so possibly supporting the organization of the next editions of ARTISTE, aggregating the community, the researchers, professionals, and scientific institutions that are interested to aggregate around this field, and engaging institutions and communicating to society through institutions. My special thanks to Michele Picaro, member of the European Parliament. It's for us very important to dialogue with the institutions because we are aware of the challenges in structural engineering. We are aware of how we imagine AI can impact the way we run our design, we do our work in society. So through our community, we want to dialogue with the institutions. And so this association will be the home of our community if we are able to give continuity to our community and a voice to communicate with society. So from the practical point of view, you will find a form to be filled in at the registration desk to express your interest in keeping in contact with us about the next steps and possibly joining this association. So I encourage you to fill it in at the registration desk. Feel free to talk to me later for further details. And thank you again. And I hope you will have a fruitful conference. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.